Oh, hey,
Hey.
Eliza, how are you?
Hey, I'm good, thank you. Thank you
Awesome.
very much, Bruce, for having me, and lovely to meet you finally, Yasmin. You've been so amazing via LinkedIn for
Oh,
everything that Lives Not Knives has been doing during this.
exactly.
So I wanted to kind of start with that, like, obviously 5 minutes could never do some of the things I'm talking about justice, and I'm very, very open to talk and communicate with anyone after this, and this is kind of personal to myself and Lives Not Knives. But firstly, I wanted to start with saying that we're happy to hear all of the amazing stories of the family time and people that took time to get to know each other over COVID and spent time with their little ones. But as Lives Not Knives, we heard about all of the unsafe stories. So the unsafe houses over lockdown, the abuse, the sexual, the physical, as well as the young people not being fed properly, and not having an outlet at school to be able to go to, or a safe place to have a release where they can actually be children and be themselves. We've only just started back in schools recently, and it's been strange because a lot of the teachers are already saying that they don't know these young people anymore, and they weren't the same since before the pandemic. So us now getting to know them and being mentors, we've had to do a lot more training in mental health, becoming mental health first aiders, and making sure that we are able to, I guess, understand and support the young people in this way. The other thing that I would say is 85% of all the young people referred to us are Black and minority ethnic. They're all from Croydon. And during the pandemic, I know myself and all my team, we all protested for Black Lives Matter. But we believe to actually change and make change as a society, we don't only attend peaceful protests, but we make change in our own offices, in our own friendship groups, and give power to the voices that aren't necessarily represented in larger society. Now, we at LNK do this by having a mixed trustee board to shape all of our programs, providing a safe and open space in the middle of Croydon with mentors who reflect the socio-economic background that our young people come from, and being an open space through summer holidays, over Easter, any breaks. Also providing education to teachers and lesson plans on knife crime, youth violence, stop and search, so that young people know their rights. And if we continue to look at how we support each other, that we were saying earlier, and how we support rather than fight against how we do this, I wanted to talk about some of the things me and the people in our office spoke about on what we can do to actually make change. One way we can do this is by asking our colleagues and people that we work with what they need to feel supported in the office, in the offices, and make changes to our policies accordingly. Call out casual racism. It's not enough just to be passive. Team working in the community to create better opportunities from those that come from the same socioeconomic backgrounds and other backgrounds that all of the young people I work with come from. Buying from small, local and Black businesses, supporting daily education and not just during Black History Month, reviewing stop and search and understanding how this can affect a young person's mental health, penalise them and make them feel judged for what they look like, and solidarity from all to understand that these issues aren't just Black issues, but an every single person issue that we need to talk about. I finally, personally, and I kind of want to just end this on a note that is something very personal to me and something that we've spoken about in the office a lot. And it's something about the All Lives Matter that we were talking about. And for me personally, I think it's something that we shouldn't say until we show that Black Lives Matter, because how can all lives matter until we 100% show the love and care and respect to all lives? As I said, I can never in 100% put everything into a nutshell. The work that my team have done during the pandemic has been amazing, and we've opened the office up to make sure that young people we were working with have received mentoring and support, and those that especially, we got a lot of young people from the care system this summer in holiday into our unit. personally, those are my thoughts, and I'm happy to discuss anything further, but really, really open to larger conversations so we can fully make change in Croydon.
Thank you so much, Eliza. And we're about to have a panel discussion, so that will be a good start, I think. If you don't mind, and if you would allow me to play devil's advocate for a second, if I was to suggest that saying Black Lives Matter is a stunningly low bar to set, what would you say to that?
It's all about education, mindset, change, as well as what, oh God, I've forgotten your name. The lady who spoke first, and changing the negative thoughts into positives and looking at how we embrace, rise up and force people to make change in a happier and more positive light. And as I said, buying from businesses and doing your own thing to support and make change with what you can do personally, rather than expecting other people to do something for you.
Yep, completely.
I've unmuted my mic because it's a bit difficult. They're being muted all the time. It was fantastic, Eliza. Thank you very, very much. In fact, there's something that I would like to bring, because I have a 14-year-old son, and disclaimer, I'm not living in Croydon, but it doesn't really matter.
That's fine.
That's okay with you guys.
I'll forgive you.
That's okay.
I have a son who's in year 9, 14 years old, and this is a very important age group. And he was talking to me about, my son is mixed, and he was talking to me about, this, what does he do when people are saying all lives matter? And I said, that's obviously, it comes through from home, where this situation of all lives matter. And I said, one of the ways, he said, how do I respond to that? And I said, one of the ways is that, yes, all lives do matter, but all lives are not treated equally. That's what this is about. So it's not, we're saying everybody else's life is not as important, but the Black Lives Matter came out of that Black people were systematically being murdered just for the color of their skin. So I have many relatives in the United States, and of course they're here too, but who just getting in the car is really, really like a traumatic experience if they're pulled over by the police. Over here, we're driving and we're changing lanes all the time, and we don't have the police behind us. Over there, it seems to be the police is constantly behind you. If you're a Black person driving and you change lanes, you may not make it home alive. It's ridiculous. So I think that the education about the difference between the All Lives Matter and why the whole root cause of Black Lives Matter, why it came about, especially for over here in the UK as well. I think there's got to be more education of that. That's got to filter through for young people to actually have this as a discussion.